What's going on, Walking Dead fans? This is Solid Dave Snake, continuing my reviews on the Walking Dead TV Series 7 action figures by Mcfarlane Toys. And in this review, we're going to take a look at the new Michonne. And this is the second version of Michonne we have gotten from the TV series version of action figures. She was originally in Series 3, and then they did a flashback version of that figure, but it was exactly the same. So, I'm not going to do any comparisons of this new Michonne compared to that old Michonne in this video, because I'm going to make a separate comparison video for that. So in this video, we're just going to go over this new Michonne and break her down for you. And she is based off of how she looked during the second half of Season 4, whenever her and Rick and Carl were making their way to Terminus on the railroad tracks. And a lot of people weren't too happy with this choice of outfit, but me, I really don't care as long as we get a lot of different versions of some of these main characters like Michonne and Daryl and Rick, which we're getting a lot of Ricks. And once we get the Series 8 Rick, we will be able to have all three characters as how they looked in that back half of Season 4. So I do think that's neat. It'll make for some nice display options and dioramas of them going along the train tracks, maybe with some Terminus signs. But I'm going to stop rambling and we'll get right into Michonne here. And I'll take a look at her accessories first. And the neatest accessory that she comes with, in my eyes, is this little can of cheese. So I'm going to have to get really close and get a focus in, because there's a lot of detail in this, but it's hard to catch. It's not even going to let me focus that close. There we go. That's pretty close. And this is from that episode when she was trying to make Carl laugh, squirting all this cheese in her mouth. And it says cheese in a can. It's real small print. You can see it. Has that cheese design on it. And even has a little minuscule ingredient label, which you can't make out anything. It's just little teeny tiny text. I don't even know if they're actual words. It's so small, just to give it that illusion of the text on the back. So really neat accessory. I like it when they do this with action figures. Give them little oddball accessories like that, because you can use it in with other action figures as well, just besides Walking Dead. And of course, all the characters in this series, minus the zombie, come with a different kind of candle, Terminus candle. And Michonne's is pretty neat. Hers is the only one with a different color candle. It's yellow instead of white. And the base for it is really neat. Good detail on that accessory. And she does come with the same exact katana and sheath that came with the Series 3 Michonne. The katana is exactly the same. And as well with the sheath. Which, let me get him out of here. Give you a better look at it. Nothing new though. And be careful with these, because they are brittle right at this point where the blade connects to the hilt. And to get her sheath off and on, you have to take one of the arms up. I have it tucked under the hair, so I have to get it out of there and move it on up. And as you can see, it is the same exact one, with the strap being really pliable. And the sword does fit in there nicely. It will go all the way inside. So a nice fit. And now we'll take an up-close look at Michonne from head to toe. And we'll go over, like I said, her in the Series 3 Michonne, but there are a lot of differences. And they even gave this Michonne a new head sculpt compared to that last one. And in the prototypes, it looked like a sadder face Michonne, but now that I have it in person, it doesn't give that impression to me. And I really like her headband on this one. They detailed it really nice too. And I like the illusion they gave of the headband going underneath the dreads on both sides. How it's still exposed at points. That's a nice new addition. And she even has two dreads tied up like this. Like how she did in the show. It really looks good from the side profile too. That really looks like Deny right there. Even more so than head on. That side profile's great. And she has the same exact vest that she's always worn, although now it has a little bit of patchwork on it, on this right hand side. And they did color the zipper silver this go around, which is nice. They have a little necklace painted in there. That's not sculpted underneath it, that's just painted. But it's really shiny silver they painted it with, so it does shimmer, which is a nice touch. And the look with the white shirt is what everybody didn't like. I personally think it's neat to have Michonne in a long sleeve shirt, since we always have her with her bare arms, and these long sleeves actually do hinder some articulation. I'll go over that whenever I go over the articulation. But it is that same white shirt she wore in that back half of season 4. And once again, Mcfarlane did a great job with the sculpting of it. With all the folds and wrinkles. On the back, it's tied here at the back. You can see her belt exposed around her waist from that in the back, and again in the front where it's parted. Even see a little bit of her stomach there too. And these gloves, well, these hands in general, are the same ones that were on the Series 3 Michonne. So that is a reused part. And her pants kind of have this olive green tone to them. And they have this different kind of fabric on both part of the upper thighs. And I like on the back how they have the pocket sculpted. Even though that articulation point is right there, they had those pockets go down a little more to help hide it. So I like that. And her feet are the same as the Series 3 Michonne. Same kind of boots, only they are colored different. And I really like how they have all the loops painted silver and the studs on the tongue of the shoe. And of course this one, the upper part is down and you can really see the studs on the side. So that was one big improvement on this Michonne. So all in all, I like this sculpt and paint job overall. They did a pretty darn good job with it. May not be my favorite in this series. I really think they did a great job with Gareth and Carl, but I still have yet to go over the review of Carl, so that will be up after Michonne. But let's just take a look at Michonne's articulation to wrap this up. Her head is on a ball joint, but it's very restricted because of her hair. So you really can't get much out of her besides looking a little to the left and a little to the right, and not much up and down movement at all. So very minuscule there. And at the shoulder, she's got a ball joint and hinge, which will go that far out and rotate all the way around, which is less articulated than the old Michonne. And then at the elbow, this is the point that is upsetting, because she doesn't even go nearly close up to 90 degrees. And the old Michonne would go past that, which is really nice for having to be able to do double-handed sword holds with her katana. But it'll go up that far and rotate around. And the wrists are a lot more restricted on this Michonne too, because of the cuff of the shirt. So you can still get a little bit of hinge out of it, downward, in full rotation. But you cannot take full advantage of that articulation because of the shirt. So with having this shirt on there, we kind of get the articulation a little downsized with this Michonne. But hopefully in the next one they'll have another Michonne with bare arms and add in a lot more articulation. I would almost like to see double hinged elbows on Michonne, and if not, just a single hinge that is able to go past 90 degrees. But she does have the same kind of waist articulation the Series 3 Michonne had, where you can get full rotation out of it, and she can bend that far down, and that far back. She does not have a waist cut because of that, but she does have that updated leg articulation, like the Series 6 Daryl. Although because of the way the shirt is, you can only get her to kick that far up. You cannot get her into a full sitting pose. And of course she has the hinges there that will let her be able to do a full split. And she has single hinged knees, which do not go that far back at all. And she has a ball joint and hinge down here at the feet, which on this foot you can get full rotation and that much hinge movement up. But on this one you can get a lot more movement because of the way the tongue of the boot is down. And you can get her that far up and that far down. So if you're a big Michonne fan, I have to give this figure a high recommendation. But if you already have the Series 3 Michonne and are not really into being a completist and picking up all these, I could see how this one would be skipped. So, alright guys, that'll wrap up my Michonne review. And the only figure I have left out of the base series for this Series 7 is Carl. So his review will be up shortly. So stay tuned for that, guys. And I'll see you then. Later.